So, some of you might remember that last month I got to play this witch in a like low level encounter with a couple of people who were fairly new to the game, a witch and some henchmen with her, and that my witch escaped and lived, and I'm sure that story is on YouTube somewhere or on my Twitch highlights, but that's not the story. The story is that witch, because she escaped, has become a character. A person whom we have seen again and got to see again this game, who I got to play. In this game, she had a mysterious trick for everybody with some freaky ritual magic. So she had 3 marks on her face, one in red, one in blue, and one in green, and was behind 3 circles, 3 barrier circles, basically. One in red, one in blue, one in green. Which I sprayed onto the ground, onto the snow with, like, dyed water in the right colors so that people could see them. And then there were 3 circles outside of these circles. One in red, one in blue, and one in green. And the henchmen that I had each had a mark on their face in the right color. One in red, one in blue, and one in green. And the only way for the players to get to my witch was to kill the correct colored henchman in the correct colored circle to bring down that layer of my barrier to get at me, because I had like a wall of thorns up around me and I was throwing spells out of it, but they couldn't get things into me. I was impermeable until they got it down. So I'm sitting there in this invincible circle, like throwing spells and watching my henchmen get cut down, and then them coming back and going back in and getting cut down, so forth. And just laughing and hucking spells into the crowd. I turned Catalyst's character into a frog. That was one of the highlights. Catalyst 7's character into a frog. With a race change, or I guess a toad with a race change toad spell, just something that witches get. Yeah, so that was the thing. And they had to try and attack my witch and get her out of this circle, and it took them a little while to figure out what was going on, but they did. They did eventually figure it out, and eventually they got 2 people in the right circles and, like, killed them. And once they had 2 people in the right circles, I thought to myself, well, I want this witch to survive, and I want, and the plot, the Shapers told me to try and keep her alive if I could, so it looks like they're figuring out my plan. So I'm going, like, I'm watching them put these guys in the right circles, and I'm saying, oh, it looks like you're figuring out my little game. Oh, what a shame. Now I'm gonna have to... okay, well, I guess that's fine. You know what? You're figuring out my little game? We'll play again some other time. And I go, dispel wall of thorns, and then run full tilt, like, away. Just sprint away into, across the field of snow. Like... ankle deep snow, just chuk, like as fast as I can. And there's a bunch of people chasing me, and I look over my shoulder and I go, I summon a hex to inflict blindness, and like throw a spell packet over my shoulder, and I hear someone go, ah, shit, my eyes, like as I'm running away. And then I made it to this road, and the road was too icy. It was too icy for me to keep running. Like, out of character, I could not run on it. So one of the people who was chasing me managed to catch up to me and just kill the shit out of me on the path, because I couldn't keep running. If I had been able to keep running, I think I would have escaped. If I had been able to keep running, I think I would have escaped. But sadly, the terrain made it impossible. The terrain made it impossible, and I got butchered. But that's only the first time she's died, and in the world of Underworld, everybody has at least 2 free deaths, you know? So assuming she's maybe died one other time just as a thing, separate from the players, she might still be around. I don't know. It's up to plot to decide that, but I get to play her, and it's fun. She's just like a total asshole, like, witch that basically has a vendetta with with some of the low-level players. The only reason I ran away was because the whole thing had, like, the whole town there instead of, like, the group of low levels that I was expecting. My witch was not at a high enough level to compete with some of the people that were there. No, not at all. Like, she hadn't been keyed up that hard. She was meant to be sort of a Lobby plot villain, you know? Because the Lobies let her escape last time. So probably I'll play her again at some point, but that'll depend on what plot says. Like I said, I don't write anything. I'm just playing an NPC this season, so I just play the bad guys. Cool.